Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolors. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello and welcome back to Painting Watercolors with me, Colin. I thought we'd have a bit of fun with this one today. An old Spanish Galleon stretch me paper, and I'm just leaving a thin film of water on it. These are the colours I'm going to be using, so I'll give you a quick run round. Naples yellow, transparent yellow, light red, cerulean blue, Payne's grey, burnt umber and Davies grey. And with that we'll just get some light red in. So where the clouds are going to be. I'm using a flat brush for this, but you can use any brush you feel comfortable with. Just make it appear as if these clouds go through the sails. I'm just going to take a little Naples yellow, drop it around the sides of this boat, quite pale. Just allowing for a little sunshine. I'm going to take some transparent yellow. I'm going to drop this in just for a bit of brightness. Then I want to take some cerulean blue. A touch of Davies grey. I think I really want to take this down to a very grey blue. And just a touch of the Payne's grey. Careful when approaching the yellow. Just bring a little of this colour into the sea. Naples yellow with just a touch of the transparent yellow in it. Some of the blue from the sky. When it hits the red, turning grey. And it's a little wet to put the clouds in at the moment, but I'm going to mix up some paints anyway. Davies grey, and that's Payne's grey. So I'm going to give this a couple of minutes just to allow the shine to go off the paper, and then we'll add the clouds. I'll give that a few minutes, so I'm just going to take some of the colour we mixed up. And we can start to drop some of this in. Payne's grey, Davies grey, with some cerulean blue. And as it runs out of paint, you can put the fainter clouds in. So this is just water on the brush added to the clouds and just making them run. Just gently dropping it in. You end up with light and dark patches, misty sky, and then I'm going to leave that to dry. Now that your sky's dry and your initial washes are dry, I'm just taking some water and I am just re-wetting the ocean area around the boat. I've taken some of the cerulean blue and I've added it into the other one after taking some of the colour out. I want this one to be a little lighter, and we can begin to bring some deeper shadows into the sea. So this is your cerulean blue, Payne's grey and Davies grey, but I've thinned it out and put a lot more cerulean blue into it. And I'm going to darken this, taking some of the Payne's grey into there once again, and I might just add a touch of burnt umber. Just gently bringing it in, taking it up to the horizon line, deepen that once again. Remember, it will dry lighter. And then I'm going to let that dry. Now that your sea's nice and dry, I'm just going to take some water and re-wet this background little piece of headland, taking some of the same colour as the sea. And I'm just going to run this in along the top and allow it to drift down, just outlining it. Even add a little bit of blue to that, and maybe even a little bit of red, a little bit of light red with it. I've also re-wetted the Galleon. I want to strengthen it up with some colour that's going to show through later when I put glazes of greys over it. Just putting this Naples yellow in, mainly on this side, on the left hand side. I'll drop some light red, reasonably dark I think. Just creating some light and dark patches of this. I think you've heard me say before, sometimes doing a watercolour can be a bit like layering a cake. I'm going to take some more light red, bring it over there, take some of the cerulean blue, make a nice brown, a bit like an umber if you haven't got any mixed up. Always allowing some of the colour to show through. Dropping some shadow in. Just on the back side of these. Just a little Naples yellow on the end of this flag. And then we're going to let that dry. Now your ship's dry, I'm just going to take some of the cerulean blue. I'm going to make up a very pale grey, and I've just added ultramarines to the palette just in case I need it, in case I need a darker grey. And to make this quite watery, I think that will do it. I'm making it almost like a glaze because I want the underlying colours to show through. Need to get darker as we come over the light red. I'm going to take some of the French ultramarine and I'm going to take some of the burnt umber to make a better darker grey with this, but I don't want it to be black, it's to be a bluey grey. Then on the right hand side I just want to add some spots of this in. Start to shade the shape of the sail with it, make it dark in the corner. Just allowing these two greys to mingle together. I'm going to do each one individually and then allow some drying time before we do the next set of sails. It just helps to define them so they don't all run together, unless you want them to run together, of course. Then I'm just going to let that dry, then we'll do the next set of sails. And to make that underneath sail just a little bit lighter, just dropping some of the darker grey in, just a touch more. If you make that sail darker on this side, when you put the lighter colour on, it will stand out slightly better. If you make your wash transparent, the underlaying washes will show through, just giving a little bit of depth to your sails without much effort. So again, just darkening one side, just a little bit of shading. Dropping some darker colour in. Payne's grey and added to that. Make sure I've got enough of it. It's just while we're waiting for the boat to dry, the galleon, just take a flat brush and we're going to drop in some waves. I'm just using the tip of the brush, gentle little pulls in places, just to give the impression of some movements in the water, and whilst it's still wet with some of it, just pull and just wash the edges out. You can do this a bit at a time, just softening it in. I'm going to let all that dry. Now that's dry, I'm just putting in the masts, some French ultramarine and burnt umber. I've already done a little bit of it, you haven't missed anything. It's just that you can take a relatively steady hand, and these days I'm not sure whether I have it. Just flicking in the odd detail on the galleon is some bit of planking maybe, just to help with the illusion. Dots and dashes, bit of a rudder. It's only a suggestion. There's nothing accurate in this picture for this really. It's just a fun painting. Maybe the odd bit of stitching on the sails. A broken line always, never a full line. You don't have to use these colours, you can make up your own. Some white paint, titanium white, right from the tube. You can lay this on pretty thick, put some tops to these waves. You can decide how many of these you put on. You can get carried away with this, so I'm going to stop. Birds in the sky, I think, here, some seagulls. And this is where you get to sign it to mount it and frame it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Please leave a comment, all comments are welcome. And consider subscribing. And if you want to see more videos, I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.